pleasant evening to all distinguished panelists and participants. Bharati Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BVI CAM, in association with Computational Intelligence Society, CIS chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Computer Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Technology and Engineering Management Society, TEMS chapter of IEEE Delhi section, System Man and Cybernetics, SMC Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Communication Society of IEEE Delhi section, Consultants Network Affinity, CNA Group of IEEE Delhi section, Life Member Affinity, LMA Group of IEEE Delhi section, Inter-Society Relations, IRS Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Industry Relation and Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology, Site Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Region 10 of IEEE with the Associations of Computer Society of India, CSI, Institute of Information Technology Professionals, IITP, ISTE Delhi section and IETE Delhi Center as technical collaborator welcomes you all to the IEEE IETE BVI CAM technical lecture series on solar power based sustainable energy schemes and subsidies. With immense pride and honor, we are also delighted to announce that we with united hands mark special contribution for the monumental occasion, Golden Jubilee celebrations of the IEEE Delhi section. From 13th May 2025 to 12th May 2026, we mark 50 years of this vibrant and pioneering section, a journey that began in 1976 and has since shaped the technological and professional landscape of Northern India through innovation, collaboration, and learning. This webinar is an initiative to celebrate this legacy. According to Thomas Edison, solar power is the energy of the future. It's free, it's clean, and it's abundant. In this power-packed, impressive interactive session, our expert will provide insights on rooftop solar installation, the Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, and consumer subsidies. Join us and discover how institutions, schools, and hospitals can drastically reduce their energy bills while going green. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest innovation in PV module technology, from high efficiency panels to smart inverters. Impress upon your ESG programs, inverters, regulators, and employees. Like it alike. Do not miss this opportunity to decode the solar power business and shine a light on your energy independence. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are happy to have amongst us a galaxy of experts. I would now first welcome amongst us our expert speakers, Mr. Arun Kumar Gupta sir and Professor Damandev Sood sir with an e-book. Welcome to the session, sir.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Arun is the CEO of Sunweave Infratel Private Limited. He holds an MSc in physics with nearly 4 decades of experience in solar business. His journey includes over 14 years in the industry and 25 years in entrepreneurship. We are happy to have you amongst us here, sir, today. Welcome to the session. We are also honored to have amongst us Mr. Damandev Sood, sir. Sir is a professor of practice at Chitkara University, Himachal Pradesh, with over 39 years in the industry and over 19 years in the resilience domain. Sir is a certified international and corporate trainer with over 15,500 hours of training, teaching experience, achieving 100% NPS and holding over 18 copyrights. Sir is a published author of 10 published books on resilience. In his professional journey with corporates like TCS, Zansa, Continuity, and Resilience, City Innovates, EY, HSBC. Sir has played various senior executive roles like principal consultant, group head, practice head, COO, CIO, VP, board member, program director, etc. Sir has traveled in over 20 countries. An international speaker, Sir has served clients in various industry sectors. During his journey, he has also won multiple national and global awards and has also been inducted into the BCI Hall of Fame. Currently director at the One Person DVD Training and Consultancy, Sir also serves as an international resilience trainer and consultant. He is also the chair ad hoc committee for Golden Jubilee celebrations IEEE Delhi section. We are also honored to have you among Sir, and I would now request Arun sir and Daman sir to take over the session and enlighten the house.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ritika. Good evening, everyone, once again. And I'll repeat that we must all be very happy with these Golden Jubilee celebrations of IEEE Delhi section. 50 years is not an easy journey, and we want to make it 100. I myself am looking forward to my century with IEEE. And just for information, if you do not know, a century in IEEE means your age plus your IEEE experience. If that becomes, or when that becomes 100, that is your IEEE century. You're called life member, and then your membership also is taken care of by IEEE itself. IEEE is a great platform for networking, learning, sharing, but we do a lot of fun also, and that's what we are building in throughout this year in all these activities while celebrating the Golden Jubilee. Our expert today is Arun, and we'll make it a little different session that will make it like a live chat. So Arun, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And to begin with, please tell us a lot more. I'm not saying little more, lot more about yourself. What have you been doing throughout the life?
Uh, when I start from my educational qualification, I did my MSc in physics from Delhi University. And thereafter, I have been into the industry, starting up with a sales job and doing marketing and producing electronics, manufacturing electronic power supplies, etc., etc. And then again entering into the power segment, that is the solar segment, which we popularly know as a renewable energy, right, or solar energy. I've been into the solar energy for past 10 years and doing the installation, doing the EPC contracting work for NTPC for various clients, prestigious clients, and thereby gathering knowledge about the policies and the implementation, the schemes which the parliament approved. And I happened to be once a member of, attendee of the parliamentary proceedings, the standing committee, which was approving the loans of 7% and 7.75%. So
Right.
that's a brief background, Daman. And
Right.
from here, I would like to take up the questions and answer.
Great.
Yeah,
Great. Thank you very much, Arun.
thank you.
And solar has been making a lot of noise. There's a
Yes.
lot of confusion around us. Someone would say it's free, someone would say interest free, someone would say you don't need to spend, someone would say off grid, on grid, hybrid. We don't understand all this. And that's why we thought that we would invite you and we'll attempt to throw some light on these points or terms or concepts and learn from you and take it forward for ourselves in individual capacities as well as our organizations, which may be schools, colleges, institutes, any offices, companies, organizations, hospitals, etc. I'm saying all institutions. To me, institute is not a college. Your company and my company also is an institute, and their institute, a university, is also an organization. So I will use these words institutes and organizations interchangeably. Am I right?
Yeah, all the questions that you have put in, there are a large number of questions that you have put in, but if I would like to answer them sequentially. If you
No
come up
challenge.
with one after the other, then I would like to. All are true whatsoever you have spoken on
Okay.
grid, off grid, hybrid, everything is there. It is
Right.
beneficial for every segment of the society.
We
To
will
me,
be
it is a win-win-win situation for everybody. It is.
very good. Very
There
good.
is
We'll be
there
happy to
is
learn from you.
nothing negative. matlab, for last 10 years, I have not been able to foresee or conceive or conceptualize that there is anything negative about obtaining a solar plant at your house or at your institution
Very
or
good.
your industry or anywhere for that matter.
Very good. So I'm looking forward to standing enlightened during the session and at the end of the session. Arun, I'm not going to ask you what is solar power and why and how it is renewable, etc. But tell us what is the global scope for harnessing this and how much has been harnessed? And then a lot about India. What is the scope in India for harnessing this and how much has been harnessed? What are India's targets and how much is still left? So I'm asking three, four questions in one go.
Yeah, like the first thing you are you said you won't be asking me this particular thing, but I would like to answer that particular thing only.
Please, please,
My
yes.
my name is Arun, which in Hindi it is a Prayavachi of Suraj.
Wow, I
Right.
didn't know that myself.
Okay. The second part is the name of the company before even I started solar. The name was already put in Sunwave Infratel. We were doing infrastructure business for telecom prior to that, and Sunwaves. So a friend of mine pointed out that Arun, you were meant to do this particular job, or the sun and that particular thing. So not directly answering your not to be answered question that I have put in. And
It's
secondly, solar is a universal phenomena. It is widespread all across the world. Uh, Most of the countries are fully solarized. Australia is one which is fully solarized. Then Germany is also one which is fully solarized. Then most of the European countries, their total dependence of power is on solar only. They constitute and install power only. If we look at the figures, the global installed capacity is 2.2 plus terawatt. Okay. And the projection by 2030 is 7.2 terawatt, which means it still has the capacity almost four times what it is already there. Okay. In India, we were a bit slow initially, but since last 1.5 years or 2 years, I presume it has taken up the speed. The Prime Minister boost is a phenomenon. The people in discoms, they fear that instructions are directly coming from PM office through MNRE or whatsoever. India's installed capacity is 110 gigawatt, and the target is huge, set up by MNRE is 280 gigawatts by 2030. So you just imagine what the target is. It is a gap of whatsoever we have installed till date. So we have the plans, the government has the plans, the government is installing it. Major players like Adani, Ambani, all are entering. Tata's, you name any of the big players, they are there into it, and we are moving towards the target. There is no doubt that we will not be achieving it.
very good. Thank you very much, Arun.
Yeah.
Also, looking at these figures, and assurance comes to me, to us. Otherwise, I would have started thinking that we are late. And then there is a saying it's never too late. There is still scope. Otherwise, there may be an impression one would get, oh, now everyone else has done, so it's over. Right? It's not over yet.
No,
So
it
there is
is
huge
not at
scope.
all.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. So question comes to mind once again with respect to India. While the concepts are global, we understand that.
Yeah.
How is solar power harnessing linked with India's overall plans? For example, one of those plans targets that country has kept for itself is to be the number 3 economy in the world. So how will solar business, solar power help us to move towards that target?
Daman, I would like to share a very brief example.
Yeah.
A Prime Minister had announced 1 crore Muft under the scheme PM's Muft Bijli Ghar Yojana. It is a target of 1 crore plants all across the country. Now, averaging a plant costs 2 lakh rupees. So it is the smallest part of the entire social this thing. So if you imagine 2 lakh crore just coming out from the smallest project of the government of India. So that is the size. And just imagine when we are talking of a huge and gigawatt kind of a thing, the largest, it is going to create huge employment, it is going to create huge economy, and it will be a major participant in becoming, we are already targeting towards the fourth largest economy, and solar will be contributing towards the third largest economy that we are focusing on. Obviously, that is the economic part. You can just imagine. It is a phenomenon thing. We have just achieved 10 lakh against the 1 crore target of PM Surya Ghar Yojana. So, there is no doubt that we will not be, the solar will be contributing it in a very huge way.
Very good. Very good. And when we say solar, then this is not the urban areas we are saying, we are looking at the rural areas also. So when we say it will be part of our growth path, then no one will be left behind.
Absolutely. Abs- the government has several tribal area schemes where they have to install. I don't know the exact name of that scheme. I forgot. But they have to install 5,000 solar units, which is containing 2 panels, a battery and an inverter, and
Right.
to each and every house. So no household will be left behind, which is without any power. So you will be having the bare minimum power to run the fans, the coolers, the bulbs, etc. It will be very much there. So you can just imagine the upbeat which will happen.
Right, right. Understood. Great. Next question that comes to mind, Arun, is that how transformative do you believe this Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Surya Ghar Muft Yojana, will be in accelerating household level solar adoption?
I think it has just started, and within next 2 3 months, you will find that people like us who are EPC vendors, they will be coming up with kits. Young and people from ITIs and diploma holders, they will be young entrepreneurs, and they will be getting going and installing it to. Look at the scheme. The scheme says the cost of one solar unit for 3 kilowatt, it is not exactly 3 kilowatt, it is 3.24 kilowatt, or depending on the wattage of the panel. So it
Okay.
is 3.24 kilowatt panel.
Mhm.
Now, what happens is we everybody is pushing very hard. The push is exactly coming from the Prime Minister's office. It goes to MNRE, and MNRE has made all the people accountable. The department which used to issue Aadhaar cards, that is Ministry of IT, or these discoms, Ministry of BSES, or whatsoever electricity boards are there, they are sending and using people like us to approach each and every household to promote this kind of a thing. So I feel that another couple of years time, this 1 crore target will be over. It shouldn't take more than that.
How much period did you say? Sorry?
2 years.
Two years, we should be able to achieve this target. This is very highly assuring. Very, very good.
Yes.
So
No,
this
it
this
is not
is
very high. I feel confident. Being a installer, being a EPC vendor, I feel
right.
it shouldn't be very difficult.
Very, very good. So this is the scheme to look forward to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would slightly like to add more to it, that every household doesn't has a roof on a top.
Yes.
Okay. So the various state governments have come up with schemes like P2P scheme, peer-to-peer scheme.
Mhm.
Suppose somebody has a larger roof, then he can share the electricity generated by him to his neighbor or to
Right. Okay.
whomsoever. The CA number of that neighbor can be added on, and he can get a cheaper electricity of
This
solar
is
through.
interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But you said this is for urban areas only, not in
No,
the, sorry,
everybody,
rural area, not in
everybody,
the urban.
everybody, everybody.
Oh, it's, I
It
thought
is
it was for,
this policy is not the central policy, it is a state policy.
okay, okay.
So it is anybody, any state has this kind of a policy, it is applicable to every resident of that state.
All right, okay. So while this webinar is being attended from by people from different places,
Huh.
we keep these open to anyone and everyone. Many
Yeah,
times people from other states, other countries also attend it.
yeah.
So quickly question comes to mind is then what about Delhi? Is this option that you said sharing option available in Delhi also?
Yes,
Delhi government also has done this,
Delhi
right?
government also has it.
Right, very good. Good knowledge coming to. Next question. So could you explain? I'm attempting to, as I said in the beginning, I'm attempting to remove the clouds or any myths or doubts from these concepts which are around going around solar business. Could you explain the main government schemes currently active for institutions? You did mention this Pradhan Mantri, but maybe you would go deep into that, or if there are more. So currently active for institutions, schools, hospitals, homes. As I said, institution or organization is interchangeable and it is all type of organizations for me.
Uh,
How will they become energy self-reliant?
like I would say the schemes for hospitals or educational institutions, direct benefit is not going to them, right?
Mhm.
Uh, they have to, this is something which is being discussed and being approached also. Like schools, they don't collect GST, so they do not get the input of. Explain it to you from the industrial point of view.
Right.
Suppose we put it on a industry, a factory, we put a solar plant. So the factory will be benefited by he will be able to claim the input GST which he has to pay to us, right? And secondly, he will get a accelerated depreciation on his income also, and which is to the tune of 40%. Yes. So he gets a dual advantage. Whereas in case of hospitals and schools, they are not getting these benefits.
Okay.
Okay. So the only benefit they are contributing towards is a green environment, low carbon, and that is the part they are contributing. But they should also be given benefit of it.
And when you say should be given, so the action is on the government.
It is action is on the government. It is MNRE is making a proposal and is trying to get approvals from the government, the Prime Minister's office.
We assume the work is underway, is it?
Yeah, but it
Okay.
has been underway for quite some time. Other decisions have come faster. This is prolonging.
Is
I
it
really
possible
don't.
that people like us push it? You, me,
Yes,
we all
certainly.
sitting.
Through this program, I am pushing it
All right.
forward. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So the reason I immediately asked this question is that during this Golden Jubilee celebration throughout the year, we intend to start many projects.
Okay.
So if there is something you can recommend is a project that could be run, or even if it's policy advocating, your counterparts, if we as IEEE Delhi section can join hands, that'll be a very good activity within our celebrations.
I only suggest that if this particular part for schools, educational institutes, trust, that GST benefit, which is not received by these people,
All
they should
right.
also be benefited. This is, if we can push it through whatsoever means, then it will be very helpful to the entire solar community or the people of India. That is what I would suggest.
All right. Good. Arun, you mentioned dual benefits from adopting solar, right?
Yes,
And one point comes to mind immediately is, could it be triple benefit also? For example, if I'm one unit, any entity, organization,
yes,
and I get solar installed, implementation done. One
yes,
is I'm contributing to environment.
absolutely, yes.
Second is I'm saving on power. I'm generating my own power,
Yeah.
either for my own use or even if sending it back to the grid and then making some money. But
Mhm.
I also, when I save carbon, I earn carbon credits,
Yes,
right? And then can I sell those? The carbon
absolutely,
credit
yes,
business.
yes, yes, yes.
So
Uh,
is this applicable? Is this happening or is
yeah, it is
this
on a, it is like the larger organizations, if I name Caterpillar is one organization who sold a lot of carbon credits and made a good amount of money.
Caterpillar
Worldwide,
in India?
yeah, yeah,
All right.
it is
Okay.
Tamil Nadu based.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
And
So this becomes triple benefit
yeah,
then, not
yes.
double benefit only.
And in US, Tesla, he made a huge amount
Right.
of money. He is the largest money earner from these carbon credits.
Tesla in US,
Yeah,
but US buys credits,
yes.
right? So
But
is US selling also?
yes,
That's surprising. Again, something new to learn. Very
yes.
good. Thank you very much. That's why we keep inviting experts in the field to learn from them. Okay. The next question that comes to mind, Arun, is what kind of financial incentives or subsidies are available today for first-time adopters, and how easy or difficult is it to actually avail them?
Yeah, again, I come to it. Uh, one for I start with the basic this thing. Pradhan Mantri
And
Muft
my
Bijli Ghar.
request, Arun, is to spend a lot of time on this portion, please. Because
Sure, I will do
I
it. I
believe
will
this
do
will be the biggest question in mind. How do I do it? I
it. Yeah.
understand there is some scheme, but how do I avail those benefits?
How do it is you are pretending as if it is a very difficult task to get subsidy or to get benefit out of it. But once you actually do it, you will find that it is not all that difficult.
All
It
right.
comes down
Okay.
very easily.
Well,
Now, what I will, as you have said, I will spend some time over it.
yes, yes, please.
What had happened was earlier the disk we had to apply. I'm just talking and restraining myself to discussion of 3 kilowatt only. Pradhan Mantri Muft Bijli Ghar Yojana. Right? Yes. Now what happens is earlier we need to apply and get the feasibility from the discoms.
Right.
I am clear about that part. I hope everybody is clear on that part. If somebody had to get a solar plant installed at his house, we used to make a request to DISCOM that it is feasible to get that plant installed at his roof. The government has done away with that feasibility thing. We need to apply, and the CA number on that is easily available. If the CA number matches, it is an automatic feasibility. We don't have to get any approval from the DISCOMs. Right? About a year and a half back, there were various problems which the DISCOMs were creating. Suppose somebody's name is Sanjeev, Sanjeev, and on Aadhaar it is mentioned as Sanjeev, Sanjiv, or whatsoever. There is some discrepancy in his father's name or
Right.
whatsoever. Though feasibility used to take a lot of time, it used to get the name changed at the in the electricity bill or what. Well, there were hardships at that
Right.
time. Now we are gone away with all those things. Only if a CA number is there, you are eligible to get a solar installed at your roof. Right? So that part has become very easy now. Once you install it, now I told you there are various government mechanisms by which it is pushing hard. They have enlightened all the public sector banks like Punjab National Bank, or it covers all the banks in that category. The banks, they are forcing their customers to get solar installed. Okay, and they are providing 90% of the loan to get that installed. Now,
Okay.
hypothetically, I assume the cost of the plant is 2 lakh rupees. So, if you use some different panels, it may go up by 10,000 rupees or 15,000 rupees. The person only has to shell out 20,000 rupees from his pocket, and he gets in Delhi and UP and these states. The central financial assistance is of 78,000 rupees, which is all across the country and in all the states. Whereas state subsidies are varying. Some of the states are not giving it at all. Some of the states are giving approximately 30,000 rupees for a 3 kilowatt plant. It works out some 10,000 rupees per kilowatt. That is about the state subsidy. And
Right.
central subsidy is bifurcated as 30,000 for 1 kilowatt, 60,000 for 2 kilowatt, and 78,000 for 3 kilowatt. So this is the bifurcation of the subsidies given. Earlier, it was subsidy was taking 8 months, 9 months, 6 months, and many a times there were objections also. I've
Right.
done installation of approximately 200 in Delhi and nearby areas, Delhi and NCR, and
Right.
not a single subsidy is pending.
Mm-hmm.
So the process has become so fast. The moment it touches the MNRE portal, they have the target to release the subsidy, only then his target will be finished. So
All right.
the entire process has become very simple.
Very good. So today we are getting many positive vibes from you, Arun. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Quickly, still on this point, then
yeah,
hypothetically, once again, assume I want to install solar power at my home and I live in Delhi. So
yeah.
Delhi, UP generally you are saying is easy, good, etc., etc.
Huh.
All schemes and subsidies available, etc. 2 to 3 kilowatts system will be enough, I believe, for my home. The cost will be about 2 to 3 lakhs, roughly, we are saying, out of which I will have to spend only 30, 40,000 rupees. The rest will be taken care of by some other entity.
Yeah, it will come back to you in the form of subsidy. It will come back to you in form of a bank loan.
So once again,
Bank loan is at the rate of 7.75%. That is
sorry.
for a duration of 10 years and lesser if you prefer it. But
Uh,
the maximum time tenure which the government has suggested is 10 years. So you
that
can
part
just
is
imagine
understood, Arun.
it is almost a negligible amount.
So once again, I'm asking you, assume I go to some company who's providing these systems, right?
Yeah,
They say it's 3 kilowatt system that I want at home.
okay.
How much will I have to pay? That's the question in simplest terms from my pocket. I know
Maximum
overall I have to give, but I'm saying how much do I pay on the spot?
So if I assume the price of the system which you buy from any EPC contractor is 2
Right,
lakh rupees. So
right.
you get back 1,08,000 rupees as your subsidy, which the government will pay you back.
Which means I need to spend 2 lakhs and then some money is returned to me, is it?
1,08,000, yeah. That money is returned to you
Which
once
means in the beginning I need to spend full money.
you
Is it
need to
okay?
spend the full money.
All right,
That
okay.
is
That
option one.
clarification is very
That is
important.
that is option one when if you wish to spend the entire money by yourself only. Now,
Right,
second option is that you go to a bank or you tell your EPC contractor ki I need a loan for this
right,
particular thing.
right.
Bank is more than keen to meet its target and give you a loan. They will hardly ask for any if Aadhaar is available and certain verification documents are available. He will
Very good.
ask you to open an account in his bank and he will provide the loan immediately. Rather, it is this target that within 3 days I will give you the loan. Within 4 days I will give you the loan. Okay, so
So
that kind of a thing is there.
in this option, I may have to spend only 20, 30,000 rupees from my pocket. The rest
Yes,
is loan or finance, whatever term
yes,
you use it.
absolutely, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you very much. So, in your experience, Arun, what are some common pitfalls or myths people have about applying for solar subsidies?
I
We
mentioned
have
it
touched
earlier
upon
in
this,
our
but again, because this is very important portion of discussions, if you can spend a little more time on that.
again, I had been mentioning earlier the discoms, if I look at a discom, it is not a earning proposal for them. They are distribution. In Delhi, if you look at all the four discoms are distributors, right? That is why they are known as discoms. So
Right.
their earnings come from transmitting the electricity, purchasing the electricity from somewhere and distributing it. But in
Yeah.
case of solar, when an individual is generating his own electricity, it was not a beneficial uh, subject for him. So they were not very keen to disperse or to get the solar installed. It was because
Right.
of our Prime Minister that the push had happened.
Right.
And now they are also given incentives and they have also been set up targets. So the government has engaged them in such a way that they are intentionally or they are very keen to do that kind of a thing.
Okay.
Right? So earlier the nodal officers who were appointed, they were not cooperative at all. But if I look at today, they are more than willing. Anytime I call them up, they are always available. I give you a very good example. We had installed a slightly 160 kilowatt solar plant at Nehru Place. The
Okay.
head office of BSES is just side by. It is also close to Nehru Place only.
Right.
So when the people came to visit, they found it that it is very good. It is a good plant. So
Mm-hmm.
they called their entire team and they visited that plant. It is installed at Bajaj House,
Okay.
on the top of Bajaj House.
Okay.
So the senior officer, general manager, and nodal officers, everybody came and they took the photographs, and I think they would be displaying in some of their websites, etc.,
All
etc.
right. Mm-hmm.
So this is the keenness with which they are working.
All
The
right.
entire atmosphere has been changed.
Right.
So obtaining subsidy was obtaining a connection was assumed to be very difficult. But nowadays it is not all that difficult. The person, if suppose I have applied for feasibility, say today is the 14th of June, if I have applied for a feasibility and I do not start the work and I do not apply for stage 2 or 3 or whatsoever, the calls start coming to me कि you had applied for a subsidy for feasibility, sorry, it's not subsidy, for a feasibility, and what are you doing about this plant? So
Okay.
it becomes their worry and not, matlab, it is obviously my business, I have to do it.
Right.
It also depends on certain things, whether the bank loan has come, whether I got the advance from the customer or whatsoever is there. But if
Right.
I applied for a feasibility, then the people at the discoms, they come under stress.
Very good.
They have to answer a lot. Why the delay is there, why other things are
Very
there.
good.
So
Very good.
feasibility option has become very, very simple. Uh, They have been provided with SLAs, they have been provided with timelines, they have to complete the work. So the myth that discounts are harassing is no longer there.
Very good. Very good. Highly assuring discussions. We have a lot of negativity going around us always generally, but today's session, uh, again and again, it comes that it's changing or it has changed. It's improving. It has improved.
It
Thank
is
you.
continuously improving. I am visibly, because I am one of their key players, so I am continuously observing the changes which are coming month by month, month by month.
Very good. Very good. Let's shift gears a little bit and go to
Yeah.
the technical. That there are three terms associated with this business: on grid, off grid, hybrid. If you can throw light on those also, please. What is what?
Yeah,
On, off, and hybrid.
I tell you, the energy which is generated by solar, it has to be stored somewhere. A. In very simple terms, I will tell you the panels generate a DC energy, which
Right.
is, and our households or anything used in the industry or in society is a AC unit. So we
Right.
use a converter or call it as an inverter only, which converts the DC energy into AC energy, right? Okay, so now that policy is the on-grid system which we are talking about. The energy generated by solar goes to the grid. Right. In very simple terms, it is an export and an import kind of a thing. Although it is, what I am saying is not as straight as it is, because during the daytime, whatsoever energy is made by the solar, that is consumed on time by the household only, and rest of the energy is exported, and during the night time or whatsoever time it is imported. So if you import more, then you pay for that, and if you export more, then after the end of financial year you are paid back by the government, by the discount. So
That's on grid.
that's
What
on.
is off and what is hybrid?
No, can you please repeat, Daman?
I said these are three terms: on grid,
Yeah. So
off grid, and hybrids.
on the
On
grid,
grid is clear.
grid is basically what I would like to say. It goes to the feeder or the grid. Grid, it is a substation kind of a thing, or it is a grid converted by the discom. So the electricity produced by the solar, it goes to the government grid or government discom or whatsoever the
Right.
system is there.
Right.
Right. So there it becomes a simple export and a import process. It is an account book. Any electricity produced by the solar goes to the grid. Grid is not individual's grid, it is a discom's grid. So our net metering is installed. It shows that how much of energy is exported and how much of energy is imported. So that is the job of a ledger or a net meter. So that I hope I am clear about the net metering part. I am explaining the on-grid part properly, or you
Right.
want
Right.
to ask something more?
No, I think this is clear. On
Okay.
grid is clear. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So now the second is the off-grid option. Now what happens? The energy which is generated by the solar, it is preserved in the batteries. It has nothing to do with the transmission lines or grid or any discom or anything. Suppose you have a house in a remote village where there is no electricity at all. Now, what do? The solar panels will create electricity, and that electricity will be stored in the batteries. From the batteries, like the inverter you have in your house, when the electricity goes away, the inverter helps you making run the appliances at your house.
Yes.
So that is the use of a off-grid system.
Right.
Right. So it becomes very simple. It is slightly expensive, and depending on the use, the number of batteries and the cost of inverter is also slightly expensive as compared to on-grid system.
Okay.
Third is a mix of both the things, which is why it is known as a hybrid system.
Okay.
So it is connected to the grid also, and it is connected to the battery also.
Okay.
So various options are there. The solar produces electricity, it charges the battery, then energy is still left over, it charges the usage of the premises, and if still that is left, it exports the units. And the second option is that the batteries are charged by the electricity which is imported, which is being imported by the grid.
Right.
The batteries will be charged. So it depends on the usage and the charging of the battery.
Right.
The batteries, the first preference, the batteries are to be charged by the solar only, so that it is your own power.
Okay.
If your consumption is higher, then you have to import the battery also. So batteries will be charged by the discoms. So this
Right.
is how the hybrid system works. Here,
Right.
all the things are available. In UP, there are certain state policies. In UP, subsidies are given even on hybrid systems also, whereas in Delhi, it is not.
All right. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Thank you very much. So, as a layman, I'm summarizing
Yeah.
my way. I'm saying it's not technical.
Yeah.
That on grid is simplest.
Yes, and most usable.
Off grid is, and you said, and
And most usable also. People
Most
use.
usable also. Then is off-grid, and then is hybrid.
Yes.
Is it also cost-wise? Least cost is on-grid, and then off-grid, and then hybrid?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay. So this leads us to the next question, that from a business standpoint,
Mm.
how viable is solar power for small scale industries or commercial buildings today? And then if we can take an example, like 3 kilowatt system to be installed. Maybe it's not for an industry,
Uh,
small industry or a household, I'm saying 3 kilowatt. You can make it 6 kilowatt. I don't know. How does it
Yeah.
go from 1 to 3 or 6, etc.?
Uh,
If you can give very high ideas about costs also, on
uh,
grid, off grid, and hybrids.
okay, I will like to elaborate slightly more about it.
All right,
The
great.
cost of the plant, starts if we consider a 3 kilowatt plant, it costs you almost 70,000 rupees a kilowatt. Okay.
All right.
Now, if you go up the ladder, if you install a plant, say, of 50 kilowatt or 100 kilowatt, the price may come down to as low as 35,000 per kilowatt.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So that is the gap between a larger quantity, larger capacity solar plant and a small capacity solar plant.
Understood. Okay.
Okay, now what happens is if you are using a 3 kilowatt domestic system, r- right? Government is compensating it with the subsidy kind of a thing. Say
Mhm.
1,08,000 subsidy in Delhi and UP. Okay, and there might be other states who will be giving it differently, but I'm talking about these two states. So a person had only invested, say, a lakh of rupees in that. Now he will recover his lakh of rupees within a span of 2 to 3 years only. Okay, after that, the plant will work for the panels, which are TOPCon panels, which are available today. They may run for 30 years. The inverter may run for 10 years. So it is almost free once he has recovered his money in 2.5 years time. The rest
Correct.
electricity will be free for him.
So that is not a myth that you get electricity free. While it is still a marketing gimmick, I would say that immediately it's not free, but after 3 years or 4 years or so, it
Yeah,
becomes free for me.
absolutely. I take an example of myself. I use a EV vehicle. Okay.
Right.
And I have a solar plant at my house, and the
Okay.
solar plant is not very huge. It is 5.5 kilowatt or something of that sort. Okay. I have a two-bedroom apartment in which there are three ACs, although they don't run all three ACs don't run all the time.
Right.
And I charge my vehicle also. Okay. If I assume I have driven 45,000 kilometers from that vehicle, right? I have not paid a single money to the electricity discom, and all my electricity bills are zero bills only, right? So if I imagine that I invested some 4 lakh rupees about 2.5 years back, 3 years back, so
Right.
I have earned more money than what I had spent on it.
Very good. This is a live case.
This
This
is a
this is
live
how
case. This
this is
is a
what
live
we
case.
this is what we always look forward to.
Absolutely. So
And personal experience, personal example.
As I mentioned, solar is always a win-win-win situation. I haven't able to perceive a single negative part from it. Okay, off-grid is slightly expensive, but it is a necessity. So places where there is no electricity at all, what do
Right.
a person does? So he
Right.
installs a solar plant. He has to manage with the battery system or power backup. He requires that thing, so he has no option. Hybrid system works where there are a lot of power cuts. Suppose a factory is running and there is a power cut for 2 hours or 3 hours. Then
Right.
he will not get the output which he is desiring. So
Very good.
are all need-based systems which have been worked out.
Yes, yes. So, a little more about your house. Now we are going into your personal space and private life,
Yeah.
but we are learning from it. So, I'll take your permission to continue on that.
Yeah.
That Which type of system do you have at your home?
I have an
Off-grid,
on-grid system.
on-grid?
I have an on-grid system.
On-grid only. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
In
Right.
not only my house in Delhi, most of 99% of the people have a on-grid system only. The
The
reason
reason
is
only is the cost, right? That I want to spend less.
cost is one of the reasons. Secondly, there are very few power cuts in Delhi. Delhi is a place where the power is available and power
Right.
cuts are, so
Yes.
nobody likes to spend that extra amount just for managing that small amount of power cuts.
Understood. Yes, understood. Great. So let's shift gears once again, Arun, from
Yeah.
personal experiences or examples, move to corporate world once again. How can the corporate world, and once again, corporate world to me is not companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, Gale, Sale, etc. I'm saying corporate world for me is all colleges, schools, institutions, hospitals, also all factories, right?
Yes.
How can the corporate world use solar energy adoption to strengthen their ESG credentials and reporting? ESG, which is
Hmm.
environmental, social, and governance. In the corporate world, there is a lot of work going on these. Sometimes a little push from the regulators also in some countries, in some industries.
Absolutely. I got your question. Absolutely. Like, if I would answer it in a slightly different context. There is a CSR factor in all
Yes.
the companies, right?
Yes.
So most of the companies, they are spending their CSR funding onto education and onto, and solar is a major part of it. It is contributing to almost 20 to 25% of their CSR funds to various school solars. We have done 129 schools in Tamil Nadu, installing
Okay.
5 kilowatt of solar in 129 schools. So, and we just covered three districts of Tamil Nadu: Hosur, Trivallur, and Krishnagiri. And even those three districts are not complete. We haven't even done half of them. So
Right.
the corporate can help these schools by providing the solar, by giving them a green environment, by reducing the carbon imprints. And it is like people, government, when they talk unofficially in various forums, they ask them to contribute towards solar only. And
Yes.
people are doing it, people are responding it.
Right. Great. Question which I missed asking Arun when we were discussing your personal life and a home. That's 5.5 kilowatt, roughly. You said that's the strength of the plant that you have got,
Yeah.
right? Even 3 kilowatt is available for homes, something like that.
Yes. Even 2 kilowatt can be installed. There is no
Right.
issue.
That is on grid. So on that, I think question may not be relevant. A question I was going to ask was running AC on solar.
Running AC on solar, like on grid doesn't makes any impact on
Understood.
anything. So
Yes.
it is a import, export and a import kind of a thing. It doesn't bothers about the load that you are having it.
I
So,
understand that on
so
grid is clear, but what about off grid and hybrid?
off grid
Strength is
hybrid.
same 5.5 kilowatt, right?
Hybrid, you will be needing more energies, but off-grid, it is not advisable to run ACs. Although, matlab, if you install a better capacity, you can run a AC, but like it is in your house, you have an inverter battery in
That's
it.
very small
Or
capacity. Now I'm
that's
saying I will get 3 kilowatt or 5 kilowatt capacity solar
yeah.
system.
So 5 kilowatt off-grid system can run one AC, I think.
Can run for some time at least, if not for long, something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
But it should be that better efficiency ACs, 3 star, 4 star, something of that sort.
Today, we can't buy less than 3 star, I believe, in Delhi.
Yeah,
And then we were hearing something in news. It's not confirmed according to me yet, so I don't believe it yet. But I'm just mentioning that there are discussions to set the AC temperatures not below 24 and not.
24. Yeah. I was also reading it. It was, I think, yesterday only or about a couple of days back.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
The Environment Minister Manohar Lal Khattar was mentioning about.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Next question, and we are coming towards end of our discussion slowly. Are there any new trends around smart solar technologies or digital platforms that are emerging in the Indian solar market, Arun?
Absolutely. I would like to briefly explain you how the technology has changed. Before the conversation started, I was talking to ma'am, and I was telling her that when we were in school in class 1 or 2, we used to have a lens in our hand and carbon paper inside it and used to focus and get the paper burned. So that was
Yes,
all solar energy which
exactly.
was getting in that.
Exactly.
So it is prevalent for centuries, I believe. From there, if we look at India, the solar panels being manufactured were in 1962s, and then in 2010-8, these polycrystalline panels and monocrystalline panels and PERC and TOPCon and some more something like perovskite solar cells. So now the efficiency, they have been improving in sizes and they have been improving in efficiency also. The size continues to remain the same only, and efficiency, but the people, it is still under research. One of my niece, she is doing her postdoctoral from Germany, and she was telling me ki, Fuaji, we are trying to obtain an efficiency of 39.3%, whereas with only silicon, that balance which I spoke of, N-type TOPCon and PERC and polycrystalline, the efficiency of polycrystalline panels was some 17 to 20%, 22%. The efficiency of monoperk or it was 23 to 24%, and with TOPCon it is slightly 1% higher. So she was telling that with silicon we can only achieve maximum efficiency of 29.3%.
Mhm.
Whereas with this pero and silicon composite, they are trying to achieve a efficiency of 39.3%. The
Okay.
price is cheaper than only using silicon along with this composite, and um, I was just having a WhatsApp this thing that they have made a railing in Germany, and that railing is generating electricity also, and at the same time it is cheaper than wood. So that is the technology we are looking forward to. You
Right.
can just imagine. So by 2030, you will see a revolution in the country. And another 5 years time, I don't think we will be using any more thermal worldwide.
Right.
Not only in India, but worldwide.
Right. So again, a leading question now, Arun, comes to mind is if I look at myself once again, I live in an apartment.
Okay.
I do not have roof rights.
Yeah.
Is it still feasible for me? I do have walls, and I say use my walls. I would like to use my walls for panels. Is it still feasible for me or not? Or not yet?
Practically, as of now, no, I would not suggest. I can, like, these are all under the R&D and experimental stages. There is a
I'm
bill.
asking this question because many of us
Uh,
in Delhi, in other cities, also would be living in apartments. Not everyone has the roof rights.
that is the policy. Peer-to-peer trading has been envisioned.
All
It
right,
is looking forward to that. But I am 100% assured that in times to come, in another, not ages 10 years time or 20 years time, in another 2 to 3 years time, there we had these wafer thin films which were generating solar, but the viability, like, why would you like to go in for a solar? Not just for the heck of going, कि मेरे को solar लेना है, you won't be buying a solar panel.
right,
You will be evaluating the benefits in terms of cost also and in terms of
yes,
environment also,
right,
right? So as of now, that costing is not being worked out. Stuff is there at experimental stages.
okay,
Commercially, it has not been able to make much way ahead. But people have experimented. There is a building in Gurgaon somewhere close to Rajiv Chowk, Sohna Chowk hai, which is an entire solar building. Okay. All
right,
its walls, everything is made of solar
yes,
only, right? So it is generating, it is working. But to what extent they are able to save that money, nobody knows. So nobody can comment on that thing.
Okay. So my wish list not fulfilled yet. I
Yeah,
need to
it
wait
will be
for few
fulfilled.
more years, or I need to buy a house with roof rights
Yes.
and then go for solar.
Or
Great.
you can make a collaboration with the person who
Peer
has
to
a
peer,
peer to
peer to
peer.
peer. Right.
No,
Okay.
second also you can share it.
I
If
need I need to have good neighbors like you then. Perhaps I need to shift
ah,
from east of Delhi to the west of Delhi.
no,
Thank you very much.
anywhere.
Right.
Right.
You touched upon efficiency, so I'm not going to talk about that because there has been discussion about efficiency of solar power for long. So
Mhm.
solar panels for long. I know 3 decades at least. This concept also that you said that on buildings, windows itself, there could be solar panels. I know all this, but what I'm getting from you is that it's not practicable yet,
Yes.
cost-wise,
As
perhaps.
of
I'm
now,
still research. Yeah.
we can hope for it.
Yes. Big question in mind, Arun, which is with respect to EVs also.
Yes.
Today we will not discuss EV, but just an example to lead to our discussions, which are about solar power generation systems.
Yeah.
That, well, there's a lot of push, not only in India, globally.
Yes.
There is going to be some waste, e-waste. For example, your car running on EV in 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever is the battery age, that
Mhm.
will be an e-waste. The recycling of vehicle auto batteries itself earlier also was a challenge, but this is special e-waste through solar panels will be coming. And if we go for off grid or hybrid, we have batteries there also, plus the panels also. So your views around this, what capacities exist in the world and in India for such recycling, if there can be any recycling?
Worldwide, I will not like to comment much because I do not know.
Okay.
But the projected waste is say 2 million tons by 2030.
In
Well,
India, or is this global?
it's in India.
Solar waste.
Solar waste,
All right. Okay.
solar waste or battery, matlab
Right.
whatsoever
Right.
it is.
Yes. Yes. Understood.
Now I look at the contents of the solar plant. Now there is a panel, right? The panel constitutes a frame of aluminum. It is
Yes.
recyclable.
Yes.
Nothing is 100% aluminum is going to be recycled.
Okay.
Second, it is the glass. Glass can also be recycled. Silicon cells in totality, matlab not one single cell can go as waste. It can be recycled. ठीक है.
Okay.
Then there are silver bus bars, they can also be recycled. So 90% of that solar panel can be recycled and reused. Again, a solar panel can be made of all these things. And now coming to the second part which you are focusing, that is the battery part. Now battery, what is battery is mainly of lithium or lead acid or any other thing. It is the responsibility of the OEM. The government laws, they suggest that it is the responsibility of the OEM, whether it is Luminous, Exide, Emron, or whatsoever, whosoever is the battery manufacturer, that he has to collect the battery, whatsoever guarantee he has offered, 5 years, 6 years, 3 years,
Right.
he has to get it collected. He may not directly collect it, but everybody, you take a very fine example. In case somebody comes to your house, वो कहेगा आपको पुरानी बैटरी दे दीजिए, मैं आपको 1500 2000 रुपए कम कर दूंगा एंड मैं आपको नई लगा
Yes.
दूंगा.
Yes.
एंड विद इन आवर ऑडियंसेस देयर विल नॉट बी अ सिंगल पर्सन हु वुड हैव सेड कि मेरी पुरानी बैटरी वो छोड़ के चला गया. So it becomes the responsibility of the manufacturer, the OEM, who has to take it back, and he has to do the recycling of that battery. And black mask is converted, and there are certain things, and for that government is working over it, and they have made very stringent regulations regarding that. They are not providing licenses. Your CPCB or DPCC or Rajasthan Pollution Board or any other board, they
Right.
test you. They will not give you a license to work or operate until unless you fulfill those formalities. So
Right.
To my mind, I think 90% of batteries also can be recycled. The waste coming out of that thing can be reused and recycled.
Right. Okay. Great. Thanks, Arun. I just quickly had a glance. Someone has typed in a question, but I'll
Yeah,
leave that to be taken up by Dr. Ritika.
yeah.
From my side, closing with the final words, what is your vision for India's solar journey over the next 5 years? What should both individuals like you, me, we all on this webinar and organizations do today to stay ahead of the curve?
Like one is
Your
a
final
wish.
words.
I wish by 2030 India becomes fully solarized as the
Very
European
good.
or developed countries are there. That is my wish. But practically speaking, I find that is a huge, tremendous target. So even if by 2035 we are able to do it, it will be a big achievement for India. And I'm sure we are going to do it, whatsoever the challenges might be.
Correct.
Okay, so that is my wish and vision for India also. And
Right.
obviously, India is going to become the third largest economy in times to come. So solar will be contributing a major, major part into it. As I showed you with a very small example of a Pradhan Mantri Muft Bijli Ghar Yojana,
Right.
2 lakh crore, matlab, in another 2 years' time. So that is a
Right.
huge amount.
Great. Great. Thank you very much, Arun. With this, I would like to hand it over back to Dr. Ritika.
Thank
Right,
you,
Naman?
sir.
Right, Naman. Thank you so much talking to you also.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. Thank you so much, Daman sir and Arun sir, for this enlightening discussion. I'm sure this insightful session has enlightened all our participants about the real scenario, and we are actually very hopeful for this upcoming solar energy initiative. There are some questions by the participant which I would now like to take up with your permission, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Uh, yes, sir. So the first question we have is, what are the warranty terms and maintenance cost if something goes wrong?
Uh, the warranty terms are provided by the panel manufacturers. On the new technical panels which have come up, TopCon panels, they are offering a warranty of 30 years. And for inverter, some companies are offering 8 years warranty and some are offering 10-year warranty. I presume that one inverter will be needed for the entire journey of 30 years. So that's my way of looking at things. Second part is you're asking is the maintenance of those panels. Maintenance, you just have to keep the panels clean. So there are various methods are being evolved. The sprinkler systems are there. People are cleaning it by using a long handle wiper. And if it is on a metro sheet or a tin roof is there, then walkways are there. People clean it with water. Then there are robotics which are used where there is no water, say deserts like Bikaner or places like there are dry robotic systems who do the panel cleaning. So that is not done manually, that is being done by the robots, which are expensive and used by people who install bigger megawatt, 300 megawatt plants, 400 megawatt plants. But for smaller plants, you need to clean the panels. That is, the cleaner the panel, the efficiency of the panel is better.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, there is absolutely no maintenance. It is a zero maintenance kind of a thing.
Great. So next question we have is, what is the environmental impact of solar panel manufacturing and disposal?
I think I had answered in manufacturing, it is all a consumption of aluminums, silver bars, your silicons and other things. Silicon is basically from the earth only. It is being imported. So, and it is recycled. So some, I think that kind of liabilities or responsibilities are there on the manufacturers. As far as any hazard is concerned, I don't foresee any hazard. It is like any other industry. It is like any other electronic manufacturing industry. The huge pick and place machines are there, the reflow ovens are there through which the panels go away. So I don't think it is any hazard to the environment.
Yes, sir. So one last question before we finish with today's session.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
much of this equipment or system is actually made in India? And how much of it is imported from, let's say, China or any neighbor nearby?
The main content of it is silicon.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, panels which constitute silicon is not found in India. There are very little resources are there from India. Most of the silicon is imported. China is the biggest producer of silicon. So whether it be directly imported from China or through various routes of Taiwan or other countries, then it is a different matter. But the silicon has to be imported from, it has to be imported only. Right. The rest of the things, India is putting pressure. The glass manufacturing, the aluminum, and everything is Indian only. Manufacturing people are Indian only. So silicon is imported, which constitutes a larger part of the panel cost.
Yes, sir.
Arun,
So,
that was my question, but it seems that as again, if we don't find silicon in India, then we need to import it only.
Yeah.
The
but
commercial
as it
gas
says,
from
sir,
China
except
only.
silicon, we can say that this is most of it is made in India.
Yes. The government has defined that structure basically. They call it as domestic content requirement. It is, they are DCR panels and they are non-DCR panels. But
Yes, sir.
the thrust of Indian content is being pressurized and increased by the day. Every day you will find more of Indian content is there. But
Correct.
silicon will always remain to be imported.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much, sir.
So thank you so much, Arun sir, and thank you so much, Daman sir, for making this session possible, getting Arun sir on board. We come to an end to this session, but not before we thank Arun sir and Daman sir for this wonderful session today. So, sir, please accept this e-certificate from BVI CAMP as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session today.
Thank you so
Arun sir,
much.
this is your e-certificate.
Yeah, I feel privileged, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And Daman sir, this is your e-certificate.
Thank you very
We
much.
also have a small e-memento
Yeah,
because it's an online virtual medium. So we have prepared this e-memento also.
great.
So please accept this e-memento from BVI
Oh,
CAMP as a token of remembrance for this wonderful session
yeah.
today.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I feel privileged for it. Once again, thanking you very much.
Thank you, sir. The privileges are that you came to this session and you created such awareness regarding solar power and the initiatives that are being made available by the government of India. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take your
Daman
leave
sir,
now.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Bye. Thanks,
Okay.
Arun, once again.
Okay. Thank you. Ma'am, can I take a leave also?
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was
Okay.
wonderful.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir. So, dear participants, with this, we have come to an end to today's wonderful session on solar power energy initiatives. The feedback link for the same has already been shared with all the participants in the chat window. You are requested to kindly fill the same carefully. Good evening, Bhatia sir. So, dear participants, please fill in the details carefully and generate your certificates. Once you fill in and submit the feedback form, your certificate will be mailed into your inbox within a matter of a few minutes. So please refresh your inbox. In case you do not find your certificate in your inbox, please check your spam folder. And in case you find it in the spam folder, you can mark it as not spam so that next time you do not receive it in the spam folder. Feedback link for the certificate generation is already shared with all the participants. Our next webinar is planned next Saturday, on 21st of June. So I request all the participants kindly note down the date and ensure that you join our next webinar. It shall be on another upcoming topic. I request participants, I hope all of them have submitted their feedback form and are only waiting for the certificate of generation. We still have Aarti, Dr. Sucheta, Gatim, Kamlesh, Karan, Kiran, Madhur, Manoj Kumar Jhasar, Preeti, Rekha, Rinki, Shashi, and Yash. Participants who have already submitted the feedback form and got their certificates are most welcome to leave the meeting room with a promise to join us back next week, next Saturday on the 21st of June. Any participant, if you have not received the certificate in your inbox as yet after submitting the feedback form, please share your email ID with all panelists in the chat window. We are there to help you out with your certificate generation. We will be closing this meeting room in another 5 minutes from now. Thank you, Manoj sir. Preeti, feedback form is already there in the chat window.
Thank you, Ritika ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. How are you, sir?
I am fine. It is raining here. It is a pakoda time with hot tea.
That's wonderful, sir, because Delhi is too hot.
Yeah. So I got a pakoda. I got a tea, tea, hot tea. But you were busy in, arranging this. What to do? Virtual tea, pakoda, I can say.
Great, sir.
Where is our Huda sir?
Sir, Huda sir is traveling due to a family emergency. So he is traveling. So that is
Wonderful.
why he could not be here.
I see. Pay my regards.
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
So we have another 10 participants left. I hope they have already generated their certificate and only forgotten to leave the meeting room. We still have Dr. Sucheta, Gatim, Kamlesh, Kiran, Madhur, Preeti, Rekha, and Shashi. I request, dear participants, if you have not submitted the feedback form as yet, please submit the feedback form and generate your certificate of participation. We shall be closing this meeting room in another 4 minutes from now. Once we close the meeting room, you will not be able to generate your certificates. So please generate your certificates before we close the meeting room.
Okay, Ritika, we'll meet next Saturday.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So I have 6 participants more who are left with us, Dr. Sucheta, Kiran, Madhur, Preeti, Rekha, and Shashi Kumar. I hope they all have generated their certificates. In case yes, you're most welcome to leave the meeting room with a promise to join us back on 21st of June with our next webinar. In case after submitting the feedback form, you have as yet not received your certificate of participation, please share your email ID with all panelists in chat window. Dear participants, last announcement, we'll be closing this meeting room in another 2 minutes. So Dr. Sucheta, Madhur and Shashi Kumar, if any one of you have as yet not generated your certificate of participation, please do inform us. In case you have already generated, thank you so much. You can leave the meeting room with a promise to join us back on 21st of June. Thank you, Dr. Sucheta. It was wonderful to know that you have already generated. I hope Madhur and Shashi Kumar have also generated their certificate of participation and have only forgotten to leave this meeting room. So with this, we come to an end to this wonderful webinar 176 IEEE IET webinar on solar power energy today. We shall now be closing this room with a promise to be back with you next Saturday, 21st of June with another new topic. So thank you, dear participants. Good night. and join us back on 21st of June.